Hey, we are back with another Bible Lounge. We're going to continue on in the eschatology series, and this time we'll be talking about the place nobody wants to talk about, hell. We're going to be discussing hell in terms of end times events, so stick around to learn more about hell. So, what is hell, especially in regards to eschatology? So, with that, I want to say from the get go that this isn't a full theological treatise on hell. I'm not going to describe every nuance of hell. I'm going to describe hell as it relates to end times events. In the future, I'll probably do another video regarding hell and maybe title it the Hell Made Easy series, where I describe hell in more detail. But for this video, I'm going to keep it on the topic of eschatology and hell in light of that topic, as far as like where the wicked go, and then maybe what happens to the wicked in hell. We'll briefly discuss that. So with that, then what is hell? Well, it's important to define it a little bit, even though this isn't a full explanation of hell. There are three words in the Greek that describe hell that are used in the Bible to describe what is usually translated in English as hell. That is Tartarus, Hades, and Gehenna. The two most common is Hades and Gehenna. Hades seems to be the place where the dead go now. Like it could be the dead who have died that are believers, unless they go straight to heaven, which I believe they do. Or, let's say before Christ, if you believe that believers do not go straight to heaven, people of faith do not go straight to heaven, they went to the place called Abraham's bosom. That's a thought. That place would be known as Hades. It's kind of the abode of the dead, right? It's sort of the common Greek word, Hades. It's the abode of the dead. But we know right now, people who have died, who were not believers in Jesus, go to this place called Hades. They're awaiting future judgment. So that's where they are right now. Non-believers, people who have rejected Christ, are in this place called Hades. It is the abode of the dead. And then we get to the word Gehenna. Gehenna, if you want to translate it literally from the Greek or really from the Hebrew, it would translate as Valley of Hinnom. At some point, it got translated to Gehenna or something like that, and then into Gehenna. It just means Valley of Hinnom. So it was this valley in Israel that was believed to be a place where Israelites would sacrifice children to this god known as Molech, false god, of course. We don't know how true that is. It was at least a place of where they cremated bodies. That is, I think, is verifiable. And it also might be a place, or I believe it's a place where the Israelites would dump their trash and burn it. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on that. I need to fact check that. But nevertheless, for the Jews, this Valley of Hinnom was a place that was no bueno, right? No good for the Jews. They didn't like this place, and so it became known as, hell, if you will. That's the word that that's the Valley of Hinnom became known as or metaphor for hell. Okay. And so with that is going to be the most common word, Gehenna, that is used in the Bible when it refers to hell, as far as end times events go, as far as that place where the wicked will go for eternity. If that's what happens, we're going to discuss that. Then that place is called Gehenna. So before we get into the question, what happens in hell? It's important to just know, I'm sure this is a very common sense thing, but it's worth mentioning that hell, as far as end times goes, as far as this eternal place, nobody's there yet, right? As far as I understand it in the Bible, it's empty. This lake of fire, this outer darkness, this place is empty. And that's because it will be filled up after judgment. So at some future event, at some future time, the Antichrist, his false prophet, the devil, his angels, and then judgment takes place, and all of the people who rejected God and who are not washed by the blood of the Lamb, who are not people of faith, will be cast into this lake of fire. Is that all right? So I just wanted to mention that. And so then what is this lake of fire? What is hell? To to answer that question, hell has two overarching views. All right. Hell is either a place that people go to forever, and you're conscious in hell forever, or hell is a metaphor for being destroyed and basically you no longer exist. Those are the two overarching views. The first view being the more commonly held. The second view is part of a biblical viewpoint known as annihilationism. It means that there is no people will not be tormented in hell forever. It means that at judgment, people are destroyed and are basically no longer exist. They're just destroyed. That's the two overarching views. So again, what is hell? And I have a few points I'm gonna list right here. I'm gonna go over. So again, hell is the eternal destruction of the wicked, whether they stop existing forever or where they're being tormented or in this place. Nevertheless, it is known as destruction of the wicked. It is the place where the wicked go and they can't escape from this place. And some of these are debatable, of course, on this list. But the first one is hell is a void of a relationship with God. Now, there's a caveat there. There's some debate on what this means. Now, the Bible doesn't clearly say it's void of a relationship with God, but it's assumed, right? It's assumed by reasoning. It's assumed by when you read the Bible, it's those who believe in God have a relationship with him in terms of a father-son, a child-father relationship, right? Those who do not have that now, those who die without being in that relationship will live on forever, according to, if you believe in the non-annihilationism, if you believe that hell is a place that you'll be at forever. But, well, even if you believe in an annihilationism, right, there will be this eternal separation from God. Now, does that mean that we won't know God exists? No. It just means that we won't be in a relationship with God in terms of Father-Son receiving of his grace and his blessings. It'll be worse than here on earth, because even here on earth, there is grace, there is blessing, right? Life is here on earth and the blessings of God. But in hell, there is no blessings of God. It's just a place of torment and darkness. There's no light. It's not a place of having fun and enjoying this relationship with God and beholding his glory. That is not going to be something that takes place in hell. And then number two, it's void of God's glory, right? Now, what does that mean? Well, God's glory is the thing that makes him awesome, right? It's when you behold the sun, you're blinded and you're in awe at its glorious light. Now, God made the sun, so his light, he himself is beyond imagination, and one day believers will be able to behold his face. We'll be able to see his entire glory. In fact, in the Old Testament, when God's glory filled the temple, people couldn't approach the temple. They couldn't enter. His glory was so heavy. And so in hell, God's glory is not going to be there. Now, the glory of his wrath, I guess you could say that, but really it's just a place of destruction and darkness and God's wrath and people just hating God. People that will be in hell will be hating God, not enjoying him, not enjoying his glory. Okay? A place of darkness. That's Matthew 23:13. That's an actual verse. It's a place of outer darkness. Now, how is it called a lake of fire, but then outer darkness? I don't know. Maybe you're blind. Maybe it's outer darkness where there's no actual lights, but the only light is lava. I have no idea. But that doesn't sound fun. Like humans are not made for darkness. We don't like darkness. Now, there might be some of you out there that like darkness, but even for most human beings, we like light. Children grow up wanting that light on in the hallway because they're scared, right? Humans like light. And that heaven we're going to see in the next video is a place of light. And so hell is sort of the opposite of that. It is a place of torment. We see that in Revelation. If we go there, in Revelation 20, I believe it is. Nope, not 19. Yeah, Revelation 20. It says, "And the devil who deceived them was thrown into the lake of burning sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet had been thrown. They will be tormented day and night forever." That wording there, "they will be tormented day and night forever." If you believe in annihilationism, you essentially have to take that as metaphorical, I guess. I should look into that view more, but nevertheless, it does say day and night forever. I don't really know how else to interpret that except for meaning forever. But nevertheless, it's a place of torment. It's a place of torment. And again, the majority of people, I believe, hold to the hell being an eternal place, that you will be there forever and it'll be a place of torment. Along the lines of torment, it is punishment for the unrighteous. Hell is that resting place, that final punishment, that place where people go. They're grounded for eternity, if you will, right? You ever ground your kids? Go to your room. And well, hell is going to be that forever. It is that eternal grounding of all those who rejected Jesus. They will be judged and they will experience being cast away from God forever. And in that place, and they will basically be unhappy, probably full of hatred and spite and whatnot. And then also the Bible calls it the second death. Now, we didn't get into death. I'm going to do a video on what is death. I'll save this for another video, but essentially the Bible calls hell the second death, or the gehenna, right? It says in 20 verse 14, in Revelation 20 verse 14, "Then death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. The lake of fire is the second death." Right? The second death. The second death appears to be this death, this spiritual death that is an eternal death. It is a full death where there is no coming back. So the first death seems to be a death where there is a chance to return back to life with God. Second death appears to be this death that is an eternal death. There is no return back to life with God. That is essentially it as far as hell and eschatology goes. I just wanted to bring to light some various points. Again, this isn't a large theological explanation of all the intricacies of what hell is and all the differing views on hell. I do want to say that there is one very important note here, is that, I think I've kind of already alluded to that, but once a person dies, there is no getting out of hell. Hell is eternal. Whether you're destroyed forever or whether you're in hell in this lake of fire forever, it is a place or a position, if you will, that you cannot come back from. And that is extremely important, because once you die, that's it. You don't get a second chance. There is no second chances. Purgatory is not a thing. There's no biblical mandate for purgatory as far as the Bible minus the Apocrypha. There is no purgatory in Protestant understanding. Okay, there's no such thing as purgatory. Purgatory isn't a place that exists, and therefore hell, or once you die and you are sent to hell, even if you're in Hades right now, there is no coming back. That's it. Your chance right now, and I'm talking to you if you're a non-believer, I'm not trying to scare you into heaven, but hey, if it works, hell is a real place. Jesus mentioned hell quite a bit in his ministry, and so did John the Baptist. Book of Revelation mentions hell. It's not a small doctrine in the Bible. It's a place that God is warning will take place for those who deny him. And so come to faith now, before it's too late, and receive of God's love and grace through the gospel, through his message, receive it of faith, and escape the hell and the judgment to come. And that is the end of that video. I will say, if you have been watching these videos and you're not subscribed, please leave a like, leave a subscribe, and also, if you've been enjoying these videos and maybe you have some friends or family that have a hard time understanding various topics maybe that I've covered or in the future that I will cover, share these videos with friends and family. Share them with people so we can grow the channel. That would be my request of you guys, is to help me grow the channel. Let's get it out there, because I'm doing my best to explain these topics and make them easy. And so I hope that I can help as many people as possible understand the Bible all the more. And so I thank you for watching, And this has been another Bible Lounge. I'll see you next time.